Hello, and I'm going to show you how to make a Christmas shaker card. Now what I've realised is it's quite hard to show how a shaker card is moving, so I've managed to get all my shakery bits to the top of my card, and as I turn it, I know it'll be a bit glary, but you should see all the little bits of snow falling all over the place. Much more fun in person, I know. So this is also using the new gorgeous lovely snowflake paper and some fantastic new dies, and it's quite straightforward to put together, but there's lots of little parts to it, so you're just going to have to just pay attention. So I'll just put my Christmas snowflake up there, partly so I can remember all the different layers of things we're doing. So the snowflake paper is really lovely, and as I showed you on that one, it has lots of beautiful papers. Some of them are blue based, and in this instance I've used balmy blue as my card base, but others have got a green base, and in some instances you can also use pool party as your base, depending on which way you might want to look at it. The one I'm showing today are all blue based. I don't know why I didn't pick up a green one, however, but just to show you. So that's the size of your topper. So to start with, we've got, in this instance, a balmy blue card base. So straightforward, folded, ready to go. That's easy, that bit's done. The next thing I've done is I've used the lovely Winter Snow embossing folder. Now let me see if I can get it, there we go, so it's without shine, but you can see all those lovely snowflakes that appear, and what I've done is I've put all those lovely snowflakes, let me put that way, so you can see, I don't know if you can see, I don't know if I can get it so I can show you. There we go, sort of, you can see how the snowflakes are, so they go right across the paper, which is really nice. Now onto that, I'm also going to be using the Snowflake Wishes, which is a really lovely set, stamp set, so photopolymer, and there are lots and lots and lots of things to show. The images on the front of the box are only at 70%, so they are actually bigger than this, but you've got some really lovely snowflakes, and they're all, I have to say, I do like my snowflakes to make sure they're 6 pointy snowflakes, as they need to be in real life. You've also got a lovely little group, several little groups of snowflakes, and actually you've got some really nice little messages. So in this one I've used May Your Season Sparkle as one I think is the most appropriate. So before I've done anything else, I've actually stamped May Your Season Sparkle onto a piece of balmy blue card. Once I've stamped it on, I then run it through the embossing machine to get all the snowflake embossing all over it, okay? In some ways that's the easy bit. So then what I've done is I've taken a piece of the lovely snowflake paper, and in this instance I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use this side, or I don't know, I think I'll use this one this time. There we go. So you see that's how it's going to go over the top, but before it does, you've got to make sure it can be the shaker bit, because obviously if you just stick it flat, one, you've got nothing to keep your sequins in, and two, there's no depth in order for the sequins to shake about, so to speak. So I'm just going to, I'm trying not to cover up my squirrel really. So what I'm going to do is I'm using these lovely long, and you can see they're quite deep sticky strips, and what I'm going to go, no, before I do that, let me get my everything in the right order, because I'm a bit sixes and sevens today. Right, double-sided tape. So forget anything about the deep stuff for the minute. Use the double-sided tape, and what you're going to do is you're going to go round the edge of your shape, just to ensure that you've got all the, it won't matter if it goes through the holes, so you won't see it through the holes in the end of the day. Just trying to stick it so it doesn't overlap too much. What I've done is I put the double-sided tape all the way round the edge of the shape, and I'm just going to peel the tape off. You don't need to see me putting it down, it's relatively straightforward and easy to do. Then I've got a piece of acetate sheet. Just make sure before you put it on it's nice and clean, and then you're just going to lay your acetate sheet over the hole. This is all on the wrong side of your piece of paper, so my paper will be showing that side when we finish, okay? Then, so we finished with the double-sided tape, then we're going to use, as I started to accidentally earlier, use the strips. So these strips, again, like the double-sided tape, are just going to go along the edges of your design. Now I find it easiest to pop it on, and I'm just going to snip the edges. And make sure it's right on the edges. Okay. Okay, happy with that so far. So the other thing you'll need to bear in mind is when you are putting it together to make your shaker card, you've put the double-sided height around the edge of this shape. In order to make sure that your corners don't get too squished down or go flat, you're going to need to just put a double height normal dimensional on the corners. So again, I'm going to just do one, peel it off, pop another one directly on top, okay? The other thing I'm just going to do is run my finger around on the inside just to make sure there are no sticky bits. Because if you accidentally have sticky bits on the inside, what happens is your sequins get caught to the sticky bit. I'm just going to push those in together, and I'm just going to peel off, use a pokey tool just to help me peel off those long strips. Now, so I've got everything unstuck. So the other thing you're going to need to make sure you've got to hand, and this is where to a certain extent you're going to have to take a bit before you enter anything, make sure you work out which way you want your element to go. Okay, the next thing you've got to do is you will need to stick this sentiment card to your base card. Okay, so stick this in the middle, because this will go underneath the top. So here's another piece of paper which I've had made earlier, and I know it's the right size. So as you'll see, the edges for your underneath the sentiment fit underneath it completely, okay? Now, to the world of sequins. So what I've got here is I've got the snowflake sequins with a tiny pinch of some mermaid sequins. Don't ask, it's a bit complicated. And I'm going to put a good pinch of sequins into the middle on my sentiment. Okay, you want a generous pinch? So I've got a couple of blue sequins in here because I've actually added some mermaid sequins. Now, as you can see, they're completely stuck to me, so I just don't want them on me, I want them on the card. A little extra, there we go. And as you can see, actually they're all stuck to the inside of my lid as well, so I'm just going to leave those for a minute. Then take your topper with all its gluey bits undone. Check again to make sure that your acetate is nice and clean. This is your last chance saloon, because if you've got a mark on the inside now, there's no way you're going to get it off. Now, when you're looking at this die, make sure you've got it the way around you want it. So you've got 2 and a 1, so you might want it that way, or you might want it that way. And this is, I'm going that way. Mine is actually particularly grubby at the moment, my acetate, and I have got a mark on it, but other than that, it's lovely. Now, don't sneeze as well. That's the other thing once you've got your sequins out. I'm going to come down slowly, but definitely. And you'll find you can stick the middle down and then pop your corners down nice and firmly, okay? And there, just to demonstrate, is your shaker. Now, just to finish it off and give it a little bit of extra sparkle, the other lovely thing with all the dies, I'm not really showing you the dies, let me show you the dies that go with this, the snowflakes. It's called So Many Snowflakes, and you do get so many snowflakes. So this is the die we've used to make the outside shape and the aperture, and then I've actually used these 2 snowflake dies to make 2 extra snowflakes that I'm going to pop on as extra decoration. Now, I don't know if you can see this, let me pick it up just for a moment. This is using the balmy blue glimmer paper. I'm trying to get to it, there we go, it's a bit better. And it's lovely, really icy blue, really pretty. So what I'm just going to do is, because it's on the glimmer paper, I'm just going to use a glue dot because otherwise, because the backing for the glimmer paper is a bit tougher than it would be on a normal paper. Then I'm going to take my white snowflake. I'm just going to line them up. I can just put my, so everything lines up. So I've got middles going to middles. Pop it down. I've used a glue dot there in order to get it nice and secure. And I'm just going to put another glue dot on the back. And then I'm just going to add it to the corner that doesn't have any decoration. So you've got added extra decoration on the top. And then finally, we've got some lovely icy blue gems. And I'm just going to add one of those, which I know the other one. I'm just going to pop it down on this corner, I think, just to make it a bit more, give it a little bit of extra sparkle. So there we go. There's your May Your Season Sparkle shimmer card.